I just had this incessant need to be loved, to be desired, and just not wanting to be by myself. Hitting back, an old ex, hey, big head text. We've all been there. I can truly and honestly say that this is the happiest that I've ever been in my life. You don't have to wait for somebody to show you love for you to love yourself. That really hit me. I have to say that again. You don't have to wait for somebody to show you that they love you for you to love yourself. Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to be happy single. With Valentine's Day looming, it's yet another reminder to us single ladies of the crickets that are in the relationship arena, and also just perpetuates that desire to find someone and be happy with somebody. And don't get me started of the FOMO of not participating in Valentine's Day as a couple, because there's going to be a lot of posts on social media with people getting flowers, going on dates, getting gifts, or even just getting flown out, that it can make you feel inadequate as a single woman. But I can truly and honestly say that this is the happiest that I've ever been in my life. And don't get me wrong, my single era journey has not been smooth by any means, especially being a new mum, but I've just been able to fall in love with myself again and find peace with being single, and also enjoy being single. So I wanted to share with you guys what I have been doing and what I'm also doing to be happy single. If you're new, hello, my name is Lorraine and my channel is Lori Lux, and I like to call myself your self-care soul sister. So subscribe to the channel and join our soft living space. So I've always felt a lot of pressure from society and myself, to be honest, to be in a relationship. That aside from this period, I can't actually remember the last time I was single, not being in a relationship, not dating, seeing anyone, or linking anyone, as what I would call it back in my day. And that's because there was this incessant need to feel valuable, because I associated my self-worth and value with being in a relationship. That if a relationship ended, I was quick trying to find somebody new, or hitting back, an old ex, hey, big head text. We've all been there. So after my most recent relationship broke down, I actually sat down and reflected, both by myself and in therapy, of course, why I found it difficult to be by myself. And I realized it's because I have an insecure attachment style. So I have this need to be loved, to be validated, and when I'm not in a relationship, it kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. I just didn't know who I was. I just didn't know what I was doing. I didn't take the time to get to know who I was, to understand myself, to love myself. That even when I was in a relationship, I sometimes held on longer than I needed to, because of that fear of being alone, and also holding on to the idea of the relationship, because my value was associated to that relationship. So if I was single, then who was I? The idea of being single and by myself just made me feel so anxious and uncomfortable, and I just didn't know how to manage my emotions, which meant that I remained in this unhealthy loop for years. Speaking of anxiety management, I'd like to thank Sensei for sponsoring today's video. Sensei is an infrasound therapy device which, when paired with its companion app, helps to improve stress, anxiety and well-being. So I was so excited when they reached out to me, because I actually suffer from anxiety, so I like to have different resources to put in my anxiety management toolkit. One of my physical signs of anxiety is my heart beating really fast. So the thing that I love most about Sensei is that if you put it high up on your chest bone, it actually emits sound waves, which just helps you to calm down and reduce and slow down your heart rate. And then paired with the soundscapes from the app, it just provides that additional relaxation, that calm, and you can use it for either 10-minute or 20-minute or 30-minute session, depending on how I'm feeling in that moment. And even aside from anxiety management, I also find that the Sensei device just helps me with mindfulness, because as a busy mom, I just have a lot of things going on, like physically and even mentally, that sometimes I just need to slow down and be mindful of my surroundings and just to be more present. So check out Sensei. I'll leave the link in the description box down below. Make sure that you use my discount code Lori30 to get either $30 or £30 off and save them coin. Okay, thank you again, Sensei, for sponsoring today's video. One of the first things I had to do, and I'm actually still doing in order to be happy single, was to shift my identity. So I spoke before about having an insecure attachment style. I absolutely love the attachment theory by Bowlby, by the way. So I have been shifting from having an insecure attachment style to having a secure attachment style, which is a much more healthier attachment style. But for me to do that, I had to go back, okay, before I could go forward. So that meant I had to reflect on my childhood and previous relationships, because attachments are actually formed during childhood and then they manifest themselves in our adult relationship. So I had to remember how I grew up, how I was raised, my relationship with my mom and my dad, and you know, how that manifested in my adult relationships. And one of the things that stuck out to me, well, actually it was my therapist who pointed it out, is the fact that I went to boarding school at a very young age. And I remember telling her, and I can't remember what conversation we were having, and it wasn't even related to this, and I mentioned that I went to boarding school, and then she took a pause. She said, oh, you never mentioned that before. She then asked me how it made me feel, you know, being separated from my parents at a very young age. And I just thought, you know, fine, like it wasn't an issue, like it's what happened. The fact that I couldn't see that there was a correlation with being separated from my parents from a young age and how that could potentially have impacted me. It's then after doing a lot of reflection, again, even after that therapy session, that I realized that I had the golden child syndrome. Because I had gone to boarding school, okay, you kind of grow up really quickly because you learn to be independent, to fend for yourself. That was one of the things which impacted me in having this secure attachment style. Because I was separated from my parents, it kind of made me yearn for that love. It kind of made me seek that validation. And one of the ways that I used to seek validation at a young age was through my accomplishments, and that was through education. Because if I got good grades, then I would get a gift and everyone would make such a huge fuss on me, and that's how my need for validation kind of manifested in itself. So when it came to relationships, again, there was also that need for validation. When you're shifting your identity, it's important to actually understand how your current identity is formed. Because when you're building a house, for example, you're not going to just start decorating a house or even putting a roof over the house without it having some kind of foundation, which is why I had to understand my attachment style. I then started to learn what it meant to have a secure attachment style. So these are people who appreciate their own self-worth and have the ability to be themselves in a relationship, but also, you know, seek emotional support from their partners if, you know, they need to. So that meant healing that inner child that felt like they lacked, that felt like they weren't receiving the love that they were craving for, that they wanted, and that felt that they had to be, you know, performative and, you know, get good grades so that they could get attention and, you know, get all these gifts. I had to heal her. I had to love her. And even now, when I have those moments when I yearn in an unhealthy way, you know, to be loved, you know, when I have this incessant need, you know, to be wanted or, you know, to be validated, I then have to sit back and just heal my inner child. Tell her that she's worth it. Tell her that she is enough. Tell her that, you know, she is deserving. And this is where I practice affirmations as a daily reminder that, you know, I am worth it. I am deserving, that I am enough, that I am loved, so I don't behave in an insecure way. Another way to shift your identity is through embodiment. And I spoke about this in How to Become Your Dream Woman video, in that in order to reinvent yourself into your highest self, you need to become her now. So in order for me to acquire a secure attachment style, I had to embody everything associated with being secure. And I think there's a strong correlation between having an abundance mindset and having a secure attachment style, in that when you're abundant, you are whole, you are enough, you believe that there's plenty, you believe that, you know, you are deserving of more, and you know that there's plenty out there for you. And similar with a secure attachment style, you have a strong sense of self-worth and value within yourself. You believe that you are deserving. You know that you don't have to compromise yourself, and you know what you deserve, you know what you want. So I started to embody that secure mindset, embody those secure feelings of feeling content, of feeling whole. And once I got that, that's when I started falling in love with myself again. Not because of what I had, not because of who I was with, but because of who I was to the core. My two main love languages of how I want to be loved are words of affirmation and gift giving. Listen, I love being pampered, being showered with words of love and encouragement, surprise gifts and like surprise getaways. That aside from all the other great things about being in a relationship, I couldn't help but miss that, because that's how I felt loved. But it was like I was waiting for me to be in a relationship, or for me to have a significant other who would do those things for me. It was only when I came across the concept of solo dating, when I was watching one of Maya Gallow's vlogs, that it clicked that you don't have to wait for someone to love you for you to love yourself. That really hit me. I have to say it again. You don't have to wait for somebody to show you that they love you for you to love yourself. It could seem like a really trivial thing, to go on a solo date, to take yourself out, on a dinner date, or like a cinema date, or like a museum date, whatever it is. But if you actually think about the reason why we enjoy dating or being courted, is that, we enjoy getting dressed, getting ready, looking good, being complimented that we're looking good, okay, being wanted, being appreciated, okay. That makes us feel good, and that makes us feel wanted and feel loved. So why not do all those things for yourself? Why not dress up for yourself? Why not look good for yourself? Why not take yourself out? Why not make yourself feel appreciated, make yourself feel wanted? I'm a self-proclaimed self-care queen, and even though I like to romanticize my everyday life, sometimes I just put a bit more effort, okay, in the way that I'm dressed. Maybe I might cook like an extravagant kind of meal. Maybe I might like run a bath instead of having a shower, because I have a shower every single day. Just something just to make myself feel special, just to make myself feel wanted, just to make myself feel worthy. And that's how you can truly be happy single, because you love yourself first and foremost. Anyone who's going to come into your life is going to be an addition, is going to be a bonus. You are living life together, filling each other's cup, and your happiness and your joy and your peace is not attached on them, or is not attached on anything else but yourself. Another way that I have been falling in love with myself in my single era is by leading and being in touch with my divine femininity. I'm sure you hear a lot of women who say, I can't wait to meet a man who allow me to rest in my feminine energy, as though it takes a man for you to become feminine. Where femininity is our natural state, we are naturally supposed to lead with our feminine energy. And I also hear a lot of women who say, I have to be a strong, independent woman because I'm a single mom and I need to provide for my child or children. As a single mom, I can attest that you can be strong, provide for your child, and still lead with your feminine energy. Why should you have to prolong your peace until you are in a relationship? Because that's what you have when you're feminine. Peace, because you are free flowing, you are intuitive, you are creative, and being led more by feelings as opposed to results. Because when you're being led by a result, you are leading by your masculine energy, you are just like go go go. And it's not that being more feminine makes you complacent and doesn't mean that you don't have any more goals, but it's the way that you go about setting your goals and achieving your goals that differentiates you from when you are leading with masculine energy, because you're much more relaxed, you're much more at peace, you're focusing more on the feelings and not the task in itself. So when I think about my desires and my dream life, like for example, I don't know, buying my second house, I think about how having a bigger house will make me feel. What would I be doing in this house? What will the house look like? How am I going to decorate this house? So focusing on the feeling of acquiring your desires is a feminine way of goal setting. Leading with feminine energy has helped me communicate better, be less combative, listen more, become more nurturing, and just truly be happy in my single era. That's it for today's video. Let me know how you're going to be falling in love with yourself, whether you're single or not, okay? Because we should always be in our self-love era. Don't forget to like this video if you've come all this way. Thank you so much. But do not click off without subscribing to my channel. Press the notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Make sure you watch this video over here that YouTube is recommending to you, because I'm sure you're gonna love it just as much as you love this one. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.